Hello everyone, how you doing? My name is Diane and this is Madam Butterfly Tarot, and this is messages from the universe. Pick a card, so it's just to see what messages come through. It can be any topic, just whatever, spirit feels like you need to know at the moment. So obviously you can choose pile 1, pile 2 or pile 3. Timestamps will be below and I will see you in your pile. Hello to those of you who chose image number 1. This is going to be your reading. Thank you for checking out the reading. This is just going to be messages from the universe. So anything that wants to come out on any topic, just going to see what the message is. Okay. So Spirit, what is the message for pile number 1? You have soaring into joy. Childlike wonder fills my life. So there is a lot of orange here as well because it is October, but orange is actually the color of the sacral chakra. So you may find that you're about to be doing some work on your sacral chakra, or you've kind of inadvertently been doing it, or deliberately, because the sacral chakra is, the one that deals with joy. So you're either kind of finding joy because you're opening your chakra, or you're kind of allowing more joy in, which is inadvertently opening your chakra, right? You have embracing the future. I step into the future with an open heart. I feel like those of you who chose this image, this pile, I feel like you've been releasing a lot of stuff, maybe one thing in particular, maybe a lot of things, because honestly the sacral chakra can be blocked in a number of ways, but sometimes it can get blocked in childhood. So you may have been releasing some childhood stuff and working on your inner child, and because you've been releasing so much stuff, it's like you're ready to face the future. So those of you who chose this pile may have been in something of a holding period. Like you may have felt like not a lot was happening. Spirit have kind of made you go inwards for a while, right? And you're, in that state where you're like, oh my God, I'm so stuck. Nothing ever moves. What's happening? But you were releasing a lot of stuff. And you have dwelling in truth. I stand in the light of truth. The sacral chakra as well, it's also the seat of your intuition. Now, I know that the third eye is also the seat of your intuition, right? But the sacral chakra deals with emotions, and it deals with the true self. So when you have problems with this chakra, when you have constantly suppressed your own feelings, it actually makes it very difficult for you to tap into your own intuition, because you don't know what you're feeling and you don't know what you want, therefore, right? You're just kind of going through the motions, almost like a bit of a robot. And I'm not slagging you off. I have been through this myself. That's kind of why I know. I feel also, I really feel those of you in this pile are dealing with your sacral chakra, yeah. Because I'm going to talk about this one in a minute. You have being in the flow here, yeah. When the sacral chakra opens, there's a sense of joy. There's a sense of contentment that is basically impossible to get when it's closed. It's a difficult feeling to describe, but it's a very cozy feeling. If you have problems with this chakra, you may find that you have an addictive personality, right? It's hard for you to settle in the moment. You go to sit on the couch and you get all settled down, and then you're like, oh, I want a cup of tea, so you get up to make a cup of tea, and then you drink your tea and you're like watching a TV program, but you're not really watching it, you're actually doing like 1,000 other things on the laptop, right? It's kind of difficult for you to find joy in the present moment. But I feel like this is what you're literally learning how to do, and it's going to bring you a lot of peace and make you feel very content. You may also find that you've had trouble sleeping those of you who chose this pile, you may find in general you have a little bit of problems with insomnia and you suffer from anxiety. I feel like that's about to, that because you're working on this chakra, I think you're going to be getting rid of anxiety, and I think you're going to sleep better. You should know as well, this pile, your spirit comes to you in your dreams a lot. You might want to consider keeping a dream diary, because I think you're getting an awful lot of downloads in your dreams. Again, you have some more cards here that are very much related to the sacral chakra. Cherishing self, I accept and love myself. See, again, this is very much a sacral chakra message, because those of you in this pile, some of you may have Capricorn in your chart somewhere, because without going too much into your childhood, okay, because it could be your childhood, it could be something else, it could just be your personality, but you may have a tendency to kind of work yourself into the ground a little bit in this pile, and you know, to sort of neglect self-care and cherishing the self. For example, choosing, instead of choosing to make yourself ridiculously tired by attempting to get a humongous list of things done, to set realistic targets for yourself and not be angry with yourself or hate yourself for not getting more done. Understanding that your body needs rest, your body needs enjoyment, your body needs pleasure. You're not just here to work. You're not just here to repress your emotions and how you're feeling and to get a list of things done like a robot. You know, your soul needs nourished too. You know, like making yourself a nice meal. You know, grooming your body, like taking time out to do things that actually bring you pleasure. The sacral chakra is also all about beauty. So you may have found recently that you've been taking more time to kind of beautify your home. And you may also find that you're about to get a lot more creative, because the sacral chakra is also the seat of creativity, because it's linked to the soul. And when you're blocking it, the expression of the soul cannot come through, in which case you cannot create as easily, right? It's also the seat of femininity, you know, the womb, childbirth, this kind of thing. You know, because for those of you who are actually, you know, the feminine, you may have found that during your life, you may have had to take on a more masculine role. That it may have been because of something that happened, or it may be because you're a masculine sign, like a Gemini, for example, is actually a masculine sign. So even Gemini females or Gemini feminines, they take on masculine traits, right? Because for example, Geminis find it hard to sit still. They find it hard to truly appreciate the moment. They find it hard to make themselves eat natural food that's good for them and drink water and things. So, you know, it could just be a natural thing that you tend towards the more masculine, even if you're feminine. So I feel like this is you embracing your feminine side. And you also have being in the flow. I am in the flow of the universe, which is very sacral chakra energy, because if you are also attempting to manifest something, there's a few things with this chakra. Addiction is a manifestation of this being blocked. Not willing to be in the flow of what the universe has for you. When this is open, because the sacral chakra is all about water and flow, you know, when this is open and balanced, you're going to find that, like, say you've been trying to manifest a person, right? And you find yourself getting angry, or you find yourself getting frustrated that it's not coming fast enough. You'll find when this is in balance that you're a lot more willing to just go with the flow. You'll also find when this starts to open that you are less able to push yourself, so that you're basically working yourself into the ground. You're probably not going to be able to do that so much anymore, which is a good thing, right? And I want to get one more from this deck. Stepping into stillness. My power is born in the majesty of silence. See, again, I feel like this is a pile with people who are kind of anxious. You know, maybe you're on the go all the time. Maybe you find it hard to sit still. And I don't think it's like this stillness that's coming in. It's not like proper, you know, it's not like, I don't think we're talking about meditation here. We're talking about someone who's kind of, you know, you're kind of anxious. You find it hard to sit still. You're going to find that you're a lot more relaxed, that you sleep better, that when you're sitting watching something, you're actually watching it. You know, you're not just, you've got it on in the background and you've got 12 other pages open and you're secretly, you know, you're shopping and you're doing this and you're doing that. You're about to find yourself being a lot more relaxed. Okay. Okay, I can't shuffle that way. I also want to look at the bottom of this deck. You have planting seeds. Seeds of grace are being planted in the fertile soil of my soul. See, again, the sacral chakra is all about fertility and growth and planting seeds. And I feel like possibly some of you are being prepared for motherhood. Okay? Specifically, like the women watching this, I feel like you may be being prepared for motherhood. But this is very much like you're very much stepping into a like like a much more feminine energy. Even the men or the masculine watching, like there's going to be like a lot less stress. You know, things are about to slow down. You're going to have to slow down because this is opening, and I feel like you've blocked it in the past. It's all about like embracing emotions, right? This pile, I'm going to put that there. And also seeds are being planted for your future. For some reason, whatever's about to take place requires your sacral chakra to be open. So this chakra is also about intimacy. So you may be being prepared for like a love coming in, those of you watching this pile. And you may be people that have struggled with intimacy in the past. A blocked sacral chakra can also, this might not resonate for everyone, but sometimes when this chakra is blocked, instead of because you kind of have intimacy issues, like you're not so able to do it because the chakra is blocked, you may find that you try to express intimacy with people through sex. So you may have found like there's kind of unrequited love in your past, and it's like because you sort of tried to love people through sex, but you always struggled with that intimacy, right? What else for pile number 1? I'm going to leave that because it didn't come out fully. What else for pile number 1? Yeah, you have, we're going to take 1. Yeah, we're going to take 2. And I actually want 1 more from this deck, please. Thank you. Okay, you have Lemurian seed codes, embracing sensitivity, uniqueness, living with grace, this is very much about the sacral chakra as well. Like for whatever reason, this chakra has become blocked. Okay, so it's all about sensitivity and emotions. Like for whatever reason, maybe you're just one of those people who kind of, you know, it's like, oh my god, like, and I'm not judging you, I used to be the same myself. I'm still kind of like that because I'm a Gemini, but it's kind of wussy to tap into emotions, right? Or it's kind of wussy to be sensitive. Maybe that's something you were taught in childhood. Like, oh, for God's sake, stop crying, there's nothing wrong with you, right? Or oh, for God's sake, what are you complaining about? You know, you're always complaining, like, stop crying. Or do you know what I mean? Something like this. Or, I don't know, maybe you were in a relationship with someone that kind of belittled your emotions or whatever. Basically, at some point, you kind of learned that it was correct or better to repress emotions. And I feel like now you're not going to become overly sensitive, because I don't feel like that's this pile. Because when this chakra is too open, you can become overly sensitive. I feel like you're sort of allowing these emotions to come out, and you know, you're getting to this point where you're like, no, my emotions are valid. Like, it's okay that I feel angry, or it's okay that I feel a little rejected, or it's okay that I feel hurt, or it's okay that that movie made me cry, you know. Also with the uniqueness, like, again, the sacral chakra is all about the seat of the soul. There is only one you, you know. Like, the odds of there being another you is something, it's something insane. Like 1 in something million. There's only like one of you every like 500,000 years or something like that. So when you start to truly express who you are, it's like showing your uniqueness. And again, you have this grace. See, it's like this feminine grace kind of coming out, particularly for those of you who identify with the feminine. You know, it's very Empress energy, like being in the flow, not chasing things, allowing things to come to you. And that is actually what removes the blocks and allows abundance and relationships in. It's like dignity, you know, living with grace and dignity. You also have Akashic records, clearing old stories, releasing past lives, freedom. So this this pile, I feel like you're releasing a lot of stuff from your past, whether it's your childhood or, you know, whatever. And it's allowing you to be free to step into the future, because I feel like you're being prepared for something. I feel like that's what this hiatus period has been about. And you have Orion activation, supernova, recreation, renewal, rebirthed by light. So you're stepping into like a rebirth. There's been a period of stillness before. I see 2 walking through doors here, images of walking through doors. It's like they've been preparing you to walk through a new door. That's why you had this period of stillness. You're also about to step into a much less chaotic time in your life. Those of you that chose this pile, you may, in the past, you may come from a chaotic background, like a chaotic family, or you had a chaotic marriage or something, and you've always had to be like the masculine. You've always had to be the one like in control and in charge. So this chakra kind of had to be blocked, because when you're in crisis, a lot of the time you really just have to block your emotions if you have no one else to rely on. So you're stepping into a rebirth here, and it's literally like you're moving into a peaceful future. It's like you came from chaos in some way and you're used to chaos, so you could not have stepped into the new future, which is calm, without bringing the chaos with you. So this is why you needed this healing period. Pile number 1. Okay, let's see what else. What else for pile number 1? What am I supposed to do with that? What else for pile number 1? What else for pile number 1? Yeah, you have soulmate. You have a soulmate about to come in here. Like, for those of you, I feel for those of you that have chosen this pile, you're being prepared for a love coming in. Of course, soulmate doesn't have to be a love. It can be like a new set of friends, or something like this coming in, but I feel like you're being prepared because you have happiness with a soulmate coming in. And I feel like for a lot of you, there's children involved in your future. Like, for those of you that applies to, I feel like you're being prepared to be a mother, or you're being prepared to be a father. Yeah, there's another sacral chakra card. You have impasse. If I can get it to focus. I actually feel like this is a person waiting for you. Like, male or female, I feel like you have a soulmate literally waiting for you. like with open arms, but you just needed this little healing period first so you didn't kind of screw it up. Pile number 1, right? So you didn't come into this new relationship being like, intimacy issues, nope, don't trust you, no, not doing the feminine thing, no. I feel like you literally have a soulmate waiting for you. You're about to create something with this person. You have creation here. Like you and this new person, you're about to create a new life together. And it's your destiny. Like this new person is your destiny. I'm gonna get one more for the other side. What else for... Okay. I feel like there's been some confusion here, right? With this card. You see how she's kind of out in the cold? You see how she's being embraced by spirit? It's like you thought, you know, you've been in this kind of period where nothing's happened, and you maybe couldn't see exactly what was happening because you've maybe not met this person yet, or it's like someone that you're in separation with or something. But you've just been in this period where you're like, nothing's happening. You know, I keep getting these readings saying that I have a soulmate coming in or this person's coming in and nothing's happening and I can't see the way forward. But you weren't supposed to. Because they were kind of waiting for you to heal so that you are properly prepared for this person coming in. But Spirit has always been with you. You've never been alone. Okay, let's get a couple from the Surrender deck. Yeah. Oh my god. I can't believe they were on the split. Look at this. Pile number 1. You have surrender obsessive thinking and surrender your fear of intimacy. Surrender obsessive thinking and surrender your fear of intimacy. So you have a very, now this could also be a friend, right? But you have a soulmate coming in. Oh my god, I feel like they're really good looking. Also, this pile, the sacral chakra is the seat of sex, like the sexual organs, the womb. So you may have also been releasing issues around sex, like thinking it's bad or lacking true intimacy in that department. I can't say anything else because we're on YouTube, okay? But you have been being prepared for this person coming in because it's a truly intimate connection. And I feel not just that I feel like you're gonna have some good sex with this person, okay? If it's that type of relationship. If it's a friend, maybe not, right? That would be awkward. You could try, I don't know, might mess up your friendship, but for those of you that, you know, the love thing resonates, because I feel like I'm really only saying friend for those of you that are not looking for love, right? Because you have some kind of very intimate connection coming in. And I feel like it will be, like, for those of you where it's romance, it's going to be, like, you're going to have some good sex with this person, but it's also really allowing them into your life. So you have surrender your fear of intimacy. You are ready to let love in. Compassionately identify and begin to release any patterns that stop you from opening your heart. So yeah, I mean, I don't really know what to say about that. That's what the sacral chakra is all about. It's about emotional intimacy. When it's blocked, it's very difficult for you to have true intimacy with someone, like, because there's kind of a fear of being judged, okay? Usually it's come from, like, judgment at some point. Someone has judged you a lot, or they've made you repress your emotions, or, you know, you've expressed yourself in some way, like, you know, who you are, what you enjoy, what you love, or what you think, and someone has been like, no, that's not right, or that's stupid, or that's silly, right? So eventually you just learn not to do it. So, but this new person, they're going to want to know all this stuff about you, like who you are, what you like, right? So that's what you've been being prepared for. Because I feel this person's going to be very close into your life, you know? So they're going to see you at your worst as well as your best, which may be something that you don't like, right? Because you've had a block about this in the past. And you also have surrender obsessive thinking, which I think I said it earlier, right? If you have a problem with the chakra, it can often be like an it can lead to addiction or like obsessive thinking. If you're obsessing about a person or situation, turn the dilemma over to spirit. Doing so will help bring you clarity or even solve the problem. So you're kind of releasing that obsessive thinking, like, I need this person, you know, or just constantly thinking about it, thinking, like, you know, there's often attachment issues with this chakra. If you want to know more about this chakra, you can check out my other channel. The link is in the description box, but it's often because at some point, often in childhood, don't take that if you don't want it, there's kind of been a rejection. There's kind of been some level of abandonment, right? And that doesn't mean that you necessarily had a parent removed or a caregiver removed. You may have had an emotionally withdrawn parent or parents, or you may have had very, very critical brothers and sisters or very critical parents or something like this. So it's kind of, basically it's made you feel abandoned at some point, and you have replaced that with some kind of obsession, right? So maybe, I don't know, drinking, junk food, you know, constantly thinking about someone else, like in an obsessive, clingy kind of way, right? Let's see what else. What else are we going to do here? I think we're going to go for some witchy tarot, just to finish off your reading here, pile number 1. You're definitely becoming like very warm. Not that you weren't warm before, but it's like you're going to be truly stepping into your power and allowing your true self to come out. Okay, what else for pile number, 1? You have the 9 of Cups. What else for pile number 1? For some of you, this new okay, they want me to talk about this first. For some of you, the new person coming in may be a Cancer. Yeah, because you have Queen of Cups at the bottom of the deck here as well. So you've definitely been, right, you have a wish fulfillment. The soulmate coming in is a wish fulfillment. But you've been in this 9 of Cups energy, which is, it's very much sacral chakra energy of not constantly thinking about the next thing, but being in the present moment, right? And a lot of people associate that with the root chakra, and yes, it is associated with the root chakra, but the sacral chakra is about finding joy in the present moment. Because often, you know, you covet that thing. You're like, if I can just get that thing, like that person or that job or that particular top or whatever, that's going to make me feel different. That's going to make me feel happy, right? And then you get it and you feel the same. It's like when you have a birthday and you're like, oh, turning this age will feel different, and then it feels no different. So the 9 of Cups is very much being in this energy of like, you know what? So I'm not in a relationship, right? I'm fine. I know the relationship is coming because I'm in Empress energy, and I'm just taking the time to kind of, you know, enjoy what I have, like be present where I am, to be grateful for what I have, and that's what's bringing this blessing in. Basically, this is alignment. Okay, what else for pile number 1? It's truly, honestly, this person coming in is a wish fulfillment. But if you had not taken this time to heal, you would not have been able to truly embrace this connection because you would not have been able to be intimate with them. And I'm not talking about like, yes, romance, but like being able to open your soul to them, because this is looking like the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, right? It's going to be like your husband or your wife or whatever. And it's truly releasing the blocks that stops you from keeping people at bay, so that you can have a truly happy relationship with this person. So you have the Five of Pentacles, you have the Three of Swords, and you have the Seven of Cups. Some of you guys watching might be Capricorns, Leos, or Geminis. For some reason, you've had a lot of experience of being out in the cold in your life. Some of you, that's to do with family, all right? Not all of you. Don't take that if you don't want it. But for some of you, it's been to do with family. You've had a lot of rejection in your life. And again, it's to do with this sacral chakra, right? It's kind of difficult to describe, but there's often, when this chakra is blocked, there's often, you find yourself kind of chasing love. Like there's often an unrequited love that happens when this chakra is blocked, right? And basically it's because you're going around in this cycle. You're not allowing people in intimately to your emotions, so you're kind of chasing people who are emotionally closed off, right? Like perhaps you've been in a lot of codependent relationships where you're chasing someone emotionally closed off, and they take and you give because you're giving because you're looking for validation. You're never going to get it because they're not able to give it to you because they're emotionally closed off. But that's maybe what you've expected because that's what you're used to, right? So it's like this cycle. That's what you've been used to, so that's what you chase. Right? But you've broken that cycle because there's someone new coming in that really genuinely is open with their emotions and they want to love you. But I feel for whatever reason, whether it's family or relationships or whatever, you spent an awful lot of time in your life being rejected by people. And that is the reason why. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just that you've been going for emotionally closed off people because you have intimacy problems for some reason. If it's not childhood, you've probably brought it through from a past life. Three of Swords, a lot of heartbreak. And with the Seven of Cups, I feel like if you hadn't had this time, this new person coming in, you would have been like, you're too good to be true. Dismissed. I don't trust this. I don't feel worthy of this. I can't accept it. I'm going to subconsciously sabotage it, right? And let's get one more for pile number one. I can't, that's, what am I supposed to do with that? Thank you. So you have the Page of Pentacles here, okay? So this new person is going to make you very happy, okay? You have the Three of Cups at the bottom of the deck, the star underneath that. This person's a wish fulfillment. They may be a Virgo or a Capricorn or have that in their chart somewhere. You may meet them at your work when you start a new job, possibly something where you're learning, okay? Like an evening class or school or a training day or something like that. They may be a little shy. The new person may be a little shy. They may be a little younger than you. Good with their money though. This person's good with their money. And what this person has to offer you is going to be something very new for you. Like I said, this emotional intimacy, this love. Because I honestly feel like you've not experienced this before. Possibly for some of you, even with your family. You know, this person might be like very good at expressing emotions, and that's something that you're going to have to get used to. okay? Because maybe you're not so good at that. Yeah, the Knight of Cups. Definitely for a lot of you, this is love. They could have they could have like water, earth crossover, water, earth crossover in their chart. And for some of you, this may be someone that you've been in separation with, or you've just been single for a long time and you've been healing, okay? So pile number 1, that was your reading. I hope you found it useful. Many thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for me. If you feel like doing that, I would appreciate it very much. And as always, many blessings, love and light. Hello pile number 2, welcome to your reading. This is going to be your reading if you chose the second image. You're very welcome here. Thank you for checking out the reading. This is going to be messages from the universe, just anything that wants to come through, anything that Spirit wants you to know. So Spirit, what is the message for pile number 2? Joy and delight. Open your heart to joy. Okay, let's see what else comes through. What else for pile number 2? You have crossing bridges. It is time for healing, connecting, mending, and releasing. I have a feeling that those of you who chose this pile are working on your heart chakra, or you are releasing stuff from your heart chakra. And don't panic, okay, because I know what you're thinking, right? Maybe you're watching this being like, oh my god, am I going to reconcile with my ex? I don't think that's where this is going, okay? I mean, it might be for some of you, but that's a by the by. I feel like this is more about a heart chakra. And okay, I see where this is going. Okay, so you have joy and delight. Open your heart to joy. And you have crossing bridges. It is time for healing, connecting, mending, and releasing. So the heart chakra is green. Obviously it's in your heart space. If you want to know more about it, I do talk about it on my other channel, How to Train Your Caterpillar. The link will be in the description box. But I feel like you're doing a lot of releasing of past pain and past hurt. Because I think some of you guys in this pile, you might be Cancer, or you might have Cancer in your chart. I feel like those of you watching this pile, you actually you're going to become a leader, like some kind of teacher. I feel like those of you in this pile, I feel like you've been through a lot, okay? And I feel like it's taken you a while to get to this point in your life. Things may have been, you have fogged in. Go slow, take time. So you may have felt a little unclear where you were going for most of your life. Like you may have taken a lot of different courses, like maybe you've had a lot of different jobs, or you've had a lot of different relationships, or you've had a lot of different friend groups. You may have even physically moved house a lot, because I feel like it was never quite clear to you where you were going. But basically what's been happening here is you've been collecting experiences, because you're going to step into a position as a leader in the future. If you've not already done it, you are a beacon for others. So all these past experiences that have hurt you, like people that have hurt you, any situations that have hurt you, they've been lessons, okay? It's like you had to go through these so that you could teach others how to heal from these things that had happened, and also kind of how to forgive people and how to be compassionate about things that have already happened, right? What else for pile number 2? You have grounding, go deep, explore your roots, and you have cleansing waters. Purification activates vibrant life force. And you have miracles at the bottom of the deck. Expect the wondrous to emerge. So you definitely have some miracles heading your way, because I feel like it's almost like you're coming to like the second part of your life, right? Regardless of your age. I'm not talking about like a, you know, midlife crisis or something. I'm gonna put these, put them there. It's like the first half of your life you were learning lessons. And now that you've learned the lessons and you're releasing this past hurt, it's like time for the second half of your life where all the good stuff is going to happen. It's time for that to take place. I do feel that you've been in a kind of healing period. Some of you may have been attracted to pile number 1. I feel like with this grounding card, go deep and explore your roots. Some of you have also, you've brought things forward from a past life. Some of you may have been like leaders in a past life, like, I don't know, I don't want to say witches, but like wise women or something like that, you know, people with knowledge. And you may have had bad experiences in past lives, you know, when people took your knowledge for witchcraft, right? And, you know, maybe they ran you out of town or something worse happened to you. So you may have found that in the last couple of years or the last few months or whatever, there's been like things have been going more slowly, because it's like you had to recalibrate, because all this stuff happened, and I feel like you had an early, like a difficult early part of your life, and then there's been, it might even be like a decade, it might have been a long time you've been in this kind of healing period where you've almost had to transmute. I'm just gonna put my slippers on, excuse me, pile number 2. You've almost had to like transmute these bad experiences. So you may have been in hermit mode for quite a long time, like not only not dating people, but literally you may have been by yourself for a long time, because that's often the path of like a spiritual leader or some kind of leader, like a shaman, right? The shaman's journey. The shamans usually have to go off into like the mountains for a long time, like most of their life, to kind of train and to be with spirit and to learn how to talk to spirit and to do all their shadow work. If you want to know what a shadow work is, I have a video about it on my other channel, just if you don't know what it is already. But yeah, I feel like there's been some, like a long period here where you've been like transmuting this negative energy, and also learning to ground your energy, because some of you may have always felt kind of unwelcome on this planet, or like you didn't really want to be here, and I feel like it's because you're an old soul. And like I said, I feel like, you know, I feel like a lot of you watching this pile, you may have had difficult experiences in past lives, and it's you may be someone that suffers a lot from a blocked root chakra, right? Like the lower chakra, the one that kind of connects you to the earth. You may want to work on your earth star chakra as well. But I feel like it's like you've been doing the shadow work, and the shadow self basically has been released, and this is like this is the real you coming out now. Like, you're not scared to show the real you. You're not scared of being called a weirdo anymore. I feel like maybe in the past you were, because you felt like you never really fitted in. But you know what they say, right? Like, if you feel like you don't fit in with the current world, it's usually because you're here to create a new one. I feel like those of you in pile 2, I feel like you're a very strong light worker. I feel like you are an old soul. This is definitely not your first rodeo on earth, and I feel like you're truly fed up of being here by this point. You have cleansing waters. Purification activates vibrant life force. So definitely some of you in this pile may have been chosen, like may have been attracted to pile number 1, because, you know, water is the sacral chakra, and pile number 1 was all about the sacral chakra. So I feel like you've been going through like a purification. You know, it's like you did all this hard stuff, You learned all these lessons, and now it's time for you to pass it. It's nearly time, or you've already started like passing these lessons on to other people to continue to raise the vibration of the planet. But you have been in something of a cleansing, like a time out, kind of cleansing time. I'm gonna get one of these. Okay. Whoa, that came out really fast. The central sun. Yeah, you also have sacral chakra here. I feel like, yep. Thank you. I feel like a lot of you guys may have been attracted to pile number 1. You may want to watch that pile. You have sacred inner space, sacral chakra, tenderness, sensuality. You have the central sun, abundance, downloads, regeneration, success. And you see how you have the scarab beetle in the middle? A lot of you guys may have been incarnated in, now I'm going to get a little woo-woo here, okay? Don't take it if you don't want it, but you may have spent time in ancient Egypt, because a lot of, depending on what you believe, it is believed that people who were in Atlantis, a lot of them kind of went to, like, once it fell, a lot of them went to different places, like other civilizations on the planet, and one of them was Egypt. So you may have, you may feel like either an affinity, like you're very, very interested in ancient Egypt, or you don't like it. It may be that kind of extreme. And you may find, like, if you do more chakra, like root chakra work, because the root chakra is associated with past lives. So if you're working on your root chakra, you may find that you have like dreams about past lives where you were incarnate in ancient Egypt. So you have, this pile has a lot of knowledge that I feel it's about this time, or like this time that you spent in hermit mode has been about you regaining your past knowledge from past lives, because it's time now for you to use it and give it to other people. You get a lot of downloads from spirit. I also feel like a lot of you are coming into abundance. I feel like you're destined to be abundant, like financially, in this lifetime. And for some of you, it may be like as a spiritual leader, or like a counselor or something. It's something where you're going to teach people how to transmute this energy that they've been through, like how to deal with like hurt and people that have hurt you, and like the heart chakra and all this kind of stuff. And you also have higher heart activation. Dropping shields, divine love, your heart is healed. This is definitely a heart chakra pile. And again, I feel like it's kind of similar to pile number 1, in that you've been in like a hermit mode where pretty much you've needed this time to heal the heart chakra, because you're about to go through like a portal basically into a better life. Like you're almost shifting timelines. And it is because you are in alignment, because you've done a lot of the shadow work. So, you know, see when the heart chakra, if you think of the heart chakra as kind of the brain of the chakra system, right? So when people hurt you, and when they betray you, or you perceive yourself to have been betrayed, it all gets stored in the heart chakra. So if you've been through a lot of that, it tends to get blocked. And it makes it difficult for you to give and receive unconditional love. So, you know, if it's, for example, if it's not balanced, you may find it difficult to receive unconditional love, and you tend to go for kind of self-destructive relationships with people that don't really love you, right? That aren't really capable of it. Or maybe you're going the other way, and like you find yourself over the years, you became less compassionate with other people, right? But that's because your heart chakra is healing. You're going to find that you're just a lot more able to love again, you know, to receive love, to give love. Because, you know, that's why they say love and light in the spiritual community, because it's the two, these are the founding vibrations of everything in the universe and all the universes. So like love is the first thought. So love is literally like, you are made of love, I am made of love, everything is made of love, you know. So it's like when you're ascending, basically you're ascending very high. Also with the sacral chakra card here, you know, if you want to watch, I would recommend watching pile 1 for some of you if you're called to do that. The sacral chakra is all about tapping into emotions and the seat of the soul, like expression of the soul, who you really are, your emotions, letting yourself be tender, opening up to people, intimacy, this kind of thing. I feel like that's coming in for you as well. Or that's what you've been doing. So let's get a couple of surrender cards. I definitely feel like some of you, I feel like this pile, you're destined to have money in this lifetime. And I feel like it's kind of a reward because you've been through so much crap in past lives. Like you've come here in multiple past lives and tried to pass on your knowledge to people and teach people, and a lot of the times you've been kicked in the balls for it, basically. So this also, some of you may have been like very religious in past lives, you know, whatever that meant in a past life, like a monk, or you know, maybe like you were like a witch or a wise woman or something in a past life. And remember, just because you're a guy in this life doesn't mean you weren't a female in the past life, and vice versa. Yeah, so in this life you're kind of destined to bring it both together, to be religious, like religious, spiritual, but also have money. What else for pile number 2? Surrender, frustration. What else for pile number 2? Surrender, your fear of intimacy didn't fall. So I feel like that's something else you've been working on, like definitely the sacral chakra, surrendering this fear of intimacy that you have. But I feel like the fear of intimacy has come from people hurting you in the past. And you have surrender to what is. You surrender your fear of intimacy on the bottom still. So you have surrender, frustration. And surrender to what is, which is kind of, they're very similar messages, right? Frustration doesn't open any doors. The key to resolving a dilemma or dissolving a block is to take a breath, center yourself, and regroup so you can, so that you may approach the situation more calmly. Surrender to what is. Flow with what is instead of fighting it. When you can't change a situation, compassionately accepting it exactly as it is will bring you peace. So I just want to say to start off, this doesn't mean that you're not going to get your manifestation, far from it, because you have miracles coming in, okay? But I feel like, yeah, again with the sacral chakra, if that is blocked, or if it's imbalanced, I should say, there's a tendency to kind of be reluctant to go with the flow, to be like a little rigid, okay? So that may have been something that you're working on, because there's maybe something is not, because I feel like you're in this, you've been in this hermit mode, right? Like you wanted your manifestation to come in, or you've been like, oh my god, like nothing's moving, you know, this is so frustrating, where is my, like, when is my person coming in, or like when is the money coming in? You're healing and you've been learning things. It is coming. But I feel like you're just learning to kind of accept things for also possibly people. You know, with this surrender to what is, there may be some people in your life or people from your past. I feel like this is more around people. And possibly the state. I feel like it's less about a manifestation and more about, although it could be a little bit about that, because the sacral chakra, when it's blocked, it like it can lead to kind of obsessive thinking about something. But I feel like as well as that, possibly this is about people and like the world. I feel like those of you who chose this pile, you're very sensitive, because I think you're very psychic. So you may be frustrated about the state of the world, right? Because I think those of you in this pile, I feel like you have a tendency to have your heart chakra too open. So you've kind of got hurt easily, right? Because most people, not most people, but you know, a lot of people are kind of the opposite, right? They lack compassion, they lack understanding, and it's if you're like an empath, I feel like this is an empath pile. Like if you're an empath, you're kind of too open, but you're almost like too nice, right? Because you can feel other people's emotions, you want to help them, you want to sympathize with them. But the thing about empaths is, because you reflect the other person back to them, people generally don't like you. Like the assholes don't like you, the nice people like you, right? But if you meet someone who's an asshole, they don't like you. So you may have just found during your lifetime that a lot of people have just come for you, and it's totally not been your fault. I think it's because you're an empath. Because it's difficult to explain, but like you reflect who they are back to them. So it's like when they look at you, they can see that they're an asshole because of the way that you're responding to them. So they don't like you, right? So they're mean to you. So you may have spent a lot of your life being like, why are these people like, why are they so mean to me for no reason? And also I feel like generally you're kind of frustrated with the state of the world because there's so much of that type of negative energy in it. But that's why you're here. You're a leader, you're a light worker. You've come here to raise the vibration of the planet, to bring light to people that don't have it, to places that don't have it, you know? So it's like, because I do feel in this pile, there may be some of you that are like, I don't want to be here. I don't like it. I recommend working on your Earth Star. Like finding a sound healing is a good way to start on your Earth Star chakra, okay? But I feel also there's people in your life, maybe from your past, maybe your family, maybe exes or friends that have been kind of shitty to you, or they're kind of chaotic. And in the past, maybe you've tried to help them a lot and you get kind of frustrated with them, right? Because you're like, but it would be so easy for you to just act like a good person. Like, I don't understand why you continue to choose chaos. Those types of people are not ready to heal, okay? You can't make people do their work. You can't save people that don't want to be saved. Some people like the chaos because that's what they're used to, and they're not at that frame of mind where they can heal, right? So there's no point in being frustrated with them. You just have to let them and the world just be what it is, right? And if you are getting antsy about being in this hermit period again, you can't do anything about it. You're healing. So the best thing that you can do is just relax and just let it happen. What else for pile number 2? Yeah, look, another heart chakra card. This is definitely the heart chakra pile. So yeah, you have victim here. Okay, now this card's a bit harsh, but please don't take this the wrong way, okay? I get this card all the time, if that helps. Basically, what this card is about is you've been very hurt, right, by people and situations in the past, and you know, for a while I feel like you're coming out of this now, but you may have spent a lot of your life, look at that, another heart chakra card. It's definitely the heart chakra pile. You may have spent a lot of your life thinking you were a victim, like, oh my god, why does this stuff keep happening to me? Why do I keep meeting this type of person, right? It keeps happening to me. Why does this keep happening to me? You know when you've changed because you'll start thinking, oh, that happened for me. The thing is, right, if you keep attracting assholes, there's a reason for it. It's because you're putting out a certain vibration. Sorry, pile 2. I could see that my camera was about to cut out, so I just stopped it before it did. You're putting out a certain vibration which is attracting a certain person. For example, perhaps you know, empaths tend to find themselves in codependent relationships because empaths usually feel like weirdos. A lot of empaths are developed because they, not all of them, but a lot of them have kind of they've had a difficult childhood where they've had to navigate people's mood swings and kind of anticipate what they want. Some people have done that, okay? But so it's like you're kind of constantly seeking validation until you figure out that you're an empath, right? Because sometimes, you know, even without the bad family background, they just feel like a weirdo, right? Because you're really sensitive and people are like, what's wrong with you? Like, you're so sensitive, you know? If you are an empath, you may find that you know, being around people tires you a lot and you have to retreat a lot, or you don't like big crowds, stuff like this, right? So you may have spent a lot of your life in codependent relationships where you're giving and seeking validation, and the other person is taking. That type of thing, you may be finding that over and over again, and you're like, damn, like, why do I keep meeting these people, like these narcissists that keep taking? It's because you haven't, until this point, you had not done the shadow work. Like, for example, you hadn't realized you're an empath, right? Or you hadn't realized that you were seeking validation. Once you understand that that's what you're doing, you can stop doing it and break the cycle and start attracting different kinds of people, right? But, you know, you may have spent your life being like, oh my God, like, I'm a victim, blah, blah, blah. But Spirit is saying these things, yes, they've been harsh. And yes, it's unfair because not everybody has to go through it. But not everybody is a light worker, and not everybody is here to create a new world. This is the soul contract that you signed up with before you got here, because you are a light worker, you are an old soul, and you are here to change the world. So these things have been done for you, not to you, so that you could learn these lessons, so you could shed your shadow self, become the leader you're supposed to be, and teach other people, right? You also have Gossip here, which is a heart chakra card. I can't remember this. There's stories with these cards. I can't remember what her name is, but basically a lot of people may have been jealous of you, right? And again, it's because they don't understand you, because you're very sweet. People with a very open heart chakra are very sweet, very loving. They're kind of quirky. They, you know, they march to the beat of their own drum. Empaths are quirky. You know, we like to spend a lot of time alone. You know, like, we're usually not very loud, this kind of thing. And people are always like, oh, you're so sensitive. Like, oh my God, you're such a weirdo. Like, why don't you want to be around people all the time? So you know, this is a card of like, I feel like there's been a lot of judgment in your life. You know, people have been like, oh, you're so sensitive and you're so weird. And you always feel like, I think, like you don't belong, right? But you know, this is a card of like, you have to let that go, because you can't compare yourself to Joe Blogs or Belinda Blogs, because they're, you know, they're young souls, right? They're not going to get you, but you will find your soul tribe. Like, the more that the false mask falls away and you start to let the true you out, the more that you will find your soul tribe. And let's get a couple more. Okay, you have the root chakra, insecurity. See, again, I feel, okay, you've had your heart guarded, because I feel like you've had a lot of people around you that were nasty, kind of toxic energy around you, and now you felt like you had to guard your heart for a long time. And you see in this one, it's like the heart is open, right? See, in this one, he's guarded the heart from the devil, and in this one, the heart is open. I feel like that's what's going on here. Your heart is opening, your heart is healed, and like, you're ready to kind of get back out there, be with people again, you know, because it's like you forgive them as well. I feel like the people that hurt you in the past, it's like you don't forget, but you forgive them, because you're like, okay, so I know it was a lesson, and I know you're coming from like the level of consciousness that you're able to come from, right? what else can you do? But also I feel, again, this root chakra thing, like I feel like there's always been a thing about not belonging. And like I said, you don't belong to, you know, the Joe blogs and stuff. Like, you're here to create a new world, so you will feel different. But I feel like you're about to start feeling a lot more secure, like wanting to be here, wanting to be in your body. You know what I mean? Kind of accepting the fact that you are here, because it's, yeah. Because I feel there has been a lot of toxic energy around you that you've had to guard your heart from. But, and also the thing with empaths, right, before I get distracted, empaths essentially come here to heal people. You basically have a healing energy. So that's why you get tired when you're around people, because you're basically absorbing their shitty energy without knowing it. So like, people come to you for healing. So particularly dark people, for example, you tend to attract a lot of them because they need healing. They don't know that they've come to you for healing, but that's what they've done. Also, you may have found that early on you were confused, because these people, these broken people that broken people that came for healing, you know, you may have kind of confused it with love. So you thought you were in love with them, or you thought that they were in love with you, but actually they were just there for healing and then they left. So there's also, I feel, with this pile, an abandonment issue to do with relationships. But I think because you have found this connection with spirit, you feel fine. You're going to feel fine. You know, you feel like you're meant to be here. You feel like you belong, because you're going to care less about the material world, like the 3D. You know, you're going to be like, no, I understand now. I'm a leader. I came here to change the world. I have a different place in the world. I'm not meant to be there. I'm meant to be here. You know? I want to get a couple more, I think. Yeah. I just feel like there's been a lot of grief, like with this pile, you know, another heart chakra card. Grief. I just feel like there's been a lot of grief about the way that people have treated you, and about the way that you've been treated here on earth in general. See, with completion, again, that's another sacral chakra card. I feel like you've been through a dark night of the soul, this pile, and you're coming out of it now. It's like almost like saying goodbye to the old you. The old you is dead, the old you is gone, and now there's this new you, and you don't feel the need to guard your heart anymore, because you understand people and you understand things, and also you're able to identify toxic people before they even get near you. So you're like, no, pack your bag. And toxic people from your past, you've got rid of them too, you know, and you have recovery. See how he's got the key? And this is the third eye chakra. So I feel like those of you in this pile, like you've come out of this dark night of the soul, and you're in your recovery. You're coming out now, back out into the world. And you know, for the people, it's like you don't care. You know what I mean? Like maybe in the past you've kind of restricted who you are and like what you would say, but see now she's just like, I don't give a shit, right? See the woman in the middle, she's like, hi, and the other bitches are like, oh my god, she's so weird, like she talks about spiritual stuff and crystals, she's so weird, why doesn't she want to bitch about other people like the rest of us? It's jealousy, right? Basically people are I think they've been jealous of your good nature and like the fact that you're always kind of happy, or you know, just I think you just have a lovely nature, and like people that are dark, I think, have been jealous of that, and now I think you just don't give a fuck. You're like, here I am, I'm here, love me, hate me, I really don't care. I'm here to stay. I'm gonna be who I want, dress how I want, and say how I want, bitches. Because you're not hurting anyone, right? You're just going around giving people lovely energy. There's nothing to be ashamed of. And here with this, it's like you have the key to the kingdom now. You know, it's like spirit gave you the key because you're in touch with your intuition as well. So it's like you have the key and you're like, don't need to be afraid anymore. So I I just want to pull some tarot for you, pile number 2. And let's get one more. Okay, so what's anything else for pile number 2, please? Okay, so this was the 8 of Cups. If I could just get it to focus. Okay, so for one thing, I think you're walking, yeah. There's like a death. There's been a huge ego death for this pile. Like you're walking away from your old self and you're like being rebirthed completely new. And obviously this process doesn't happen overnight. I might be talking about a decade here, or 5 years, or a year. But I also feel that you've left behind a lot of toxic connections, or maybe one particular connection. I feel like multiple connections though, where you weren't being treated well. And you know, you tried. You're a really lovely person, pile number 2. You tried. You gave these people everything that you could. But like I said, some people are not ready to be healed. They don't want it. So they're going to fight you. They're going to keep trying to bring chaos into their life. They're, by extension, giving you the chaos because they don't want to be healed. So I feel like you've just walked away. You've just done. You've taken your heart and your cup of love to people and places where it is going to be appreciated. And I feel you've been heavily guided by your intuition. See, I think this is very similar to pile number 1. I think you guys have a love coming in. You have the Ace of Cups here. You know, for those of you that that applies to, I feel like there's a new love coming in. Also, this is self-love. You know, the heart chakra is opening. This is a lot of self-love, but the two things are intertwined because you cannot accept unconditional love until you feel like you deserve it, right? Because you're going to subconsciously sabotage it and, you know, try and subconsciously get rid of the person. But I feel like you have a new love coming in here, pile number 2. What else? Yeah, look. Oh my god. You have the 2 of Cups at the bottom of the deck, and you have the 4 of Wands on the split. This, with the Page of Swords, it may have taken a while for this love to come together because you needed to go through this. Because I know love is important, and it could also be a friend for those of you not interested in love. I know love is important, but so is raising the vibration of the planet, right? That's part of your job. So you have the 2 of Cups here and the 4 of Wands. Pile number 2, you have a soulmate coming in. And for those of you who are not interested in love, this is a friend or a soul tribe that you're about to find. 2 of Cups, soulmate energy, best friend, someone who really understands you, someone that you're going to be so happy with. And it was meant to be. This has been written. That you would go through this, you would become a leader, you would become a teacher, then you meet this person. And with the 4 of Wands, like a lot of you, this is a commitment coming in. This may well be someone that you marry, if that's your thing. It's a celebration, it's happiness, it's stability. Okay, those of you in this pile, you've been through the crap, and now it is time for the happiness to come in. But the crap wasn't there for no reason. It's so you could become this leader that you are now, or that you're about to become. But definitely you have new love coming in here, pile number 2, okay? So I hope this was a useful reading. Pile number 2, many thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for me if you feel like doing that. I'd appreciate it a lot. And as always, I wish you many blessings, love and light. Hello to those of you who chose pile number 3. This is going to be your reading. And thank you so much for coming to check it out. You are very, very welcome here. And this is just going to be random messages from the universe, you know, whatever wants to come out. And I'm going to start off with this deck, which is the Mystic Martian Oracle deck. Just do one more. Okay, so Spirit, what are the messages for pile number 3? It's very watery energy that have just come out here. You have the, oh, hello, what? The mantis beings. There's like very sensitive energy here, pile number 3. I don't know if you guys are a water sign or if you've got a water sign coming in, or if you have a lot of water signs in your family maybe. You have Syrians B, responsibilities, lessons, growing up. But you see how it's a water planet? Some of you guys, now I'm going to get a little woo-woo on you. Okay, don't take it if you don't want to. Some of you guys may have connections with these planets, okay? You have Alpha Centurions, foresight, planning, strategy. And you have the mantis beings, enigma, elusive, sensitive. See, it's like energies of being kind of sensitive, right? So I don't know if this is you. I feel like it's you. You may be a water sign, or you may have strong water or strong fire or strong air in your chart if you're watching this pile. Because I feel like maybe this is the pile of people who have been a little, now bear in mind I'm not judging you, I'm a Gemini, okay, myself, who have been like maybe find it difficult to plan ahead, or, you know, there's something here, I feel like you're I don't want to say growing up because it sounds really patronizing, but like maybe in your youth, or maybe before, you used to be kind of wild and you didn't want to plan things and you were always winging it. But I feel like you're moving into a time where it's like you're taking on more responsibility and you're starting to have to plan things. You know, maybe you've always been someone that moved around a lot, and now you're like, no, I'm going to stay in one place, I'm going to buy a house, and I'm going to settle down. I feel like that's what's happening for this pile. I feel like it's, you know, you maybe spend, yeah, like before this point, you've been a little, not in a bad way, just you've moved around a lot and you wanted to explore the world, and you've maybe done lots of different jobs or something like this, but I feel like you're becoming more stable now. It's like time to settle down. You know, you may have got like a more, like a job with more responsibilities, or you're about to have a family, or you're about to get married or something. I want to see what else comes out here. Let's get some of these guys. Okay, so what is for pile number 3? And again, this guy's carrying a cup of water. It's like the Ace of Cups. I'm wondering if you have a new love coming in, pile number 3. And for this new love, or it's like you're being prepared for this new love coming in. Only take that if it resonates, okay? But it's like you're being prepared to settle down with someone new. Okay, what else for pile number 3? What else for pile number 3? You have the Sun. Life is wonderful. Thrive through the power of positive thinking and inspiring success. So I feel like for some of you, this could be about a job as well. For some of you, like you have success coming in now. But coming with the success, also, you know, it could be a commitment coming in. The Sun is also, it's just being happy and being very successful and very abundant. But I feel like it brings with it, like you're settling down, or you're having to put more, you know, like more focus, like more Virgo energy, right? Like planning, foresight, having a, you know, not winging it all the time. What else for pile number 3? You have the Emperor. Yeah, I see again, it's a similar energy. There's a couple of things I see here. I'm picking up heavy Virgo energy from this Mantis Beings card. I don't know why. Some of you may have Leo Aries in your chart, and you may be dealing with, or you may be about to meet someone with Virgo water in their chart. Or it could be vice versa. You might be Virgo water and they could be Leo Aries. But regardless of, you know, if the love thing applies to you, you know, the Emperor is exactly this, right? Foresight, planning, strategy, taking control, making plans, being organized, stability and efficiency, taking charge of a situation, ambitious plans. Yep. And you have the Queen of Cups. There could definitely be a water sign coming in for you. The Queen of Cups. Also, you know, for those of you that don't resonate with love, the Ace of Cups, it's like following your heart towards something that you really want to do. You know, so like for example, maybe you want to buy a house, right? Sorry. Are you gonna focus again, camera? There we go. I forgot what I was saying. God damn it. Yeah, for example, maybe you're buying a house that you really want, right? But obviously that's not easy. You have to plan, right? You have to save up for the deposit. You have to figure out where you want to live. You know, do you want to buy a house there? You have to research the area, blah, blah, blah. Also, it's like I just noticed that the Queen of Cups is Cancer energy, a love of home and family. I feel like a lot of people in this pile are about to settle down, or you're making plans to do it. Also, those of you in this pile, you're getting more sensitive psychically. I feel like you're much more calm. And I feel like it's because there's more like watery energy coming out in your life. Like listening to your emotions, like following your intuition. Some of you could definitely have someone that's like Virgo Cancer coming into your life. Or like I said, that could be you. You have the Three of Wands here. I feel like you've been making preparations. Prosperity arising from wise planning. You've definitely been planning. So again, this could be about a job. It could be about like starting a family, moving in with someone, buying a house. There's something that you've been planning and putting a lot of work into. And with the Three of Wands, it's time. Something that you have been manifesting and planning is coming into fruition. Time to take the next step. Optimistic plans that turn out as expected. So all of this planning is going to lead to something that you really want, and you will be successful, okay? What else for pile number 3? The Page of Pentacles. So again, this is Virgo Capricorn energy. Some of you, like I feel very strongly, some of you are about to encounter, or you're dealing with a Virgo Capricorn water Cancer crossover or something like that. Or that could be you, like I said, and you have a fire sign coming in. Now you may meet this person through your work, or like the Page of Pentacles is learning something, so it might be at school, an evening class, a new job that you start. You may meet someone, because I feel like for some of you that would be interested in that, you have new love coming in. If that's not in, you know, what you want, I feel like this may be a job to do with like, it's like learning something kind of artistic, or learning something about, like learning more about your psychic gifts. Like some kind of opportunity is going to be presented to you, something that you've been working towards. Now, the Page of Pentacles could also be, I keep coming back to this house. I feel like some of you are planning to buy a home. So there's like, It's like if you've been trying to get a mortgage, it's going to come in. If you've been trying to manifest love, it's going to come in. If you've been trying to manifest a new job that you really want, it's coming in. But I feel like there's been a period where you really had to put the work in. And it's not something, maybe it's not something you would have done for some of you before, like, because your energy's been scattered in the past. And like I said, I'm not judging you, I'm a Gemini. Okay. Hello. Scattered energy much. Okay, what else for pile number 3? It's, you know, it's funny because pile number 1 and 2 were much more like esoteric and like ethereal in nature, and this is a very practical pile. Okay, that's too many. What else for pile number 3? You have the Knight of Swords. Okay, do you know what? This is a lot of cards, but I'm actually going to take them. There's the Ace of Pentacles. This offer that you've been planning for, waiting for, is coming in. Okay? For some of you, it may come off the back of something that's ended, because you have the Ten of Swords here. So like you may have been, I don't know, you know, you may have had to, there's always an ending before there's a beginning, right? So maybe you've been recovering from a shitty relationship. Maybe you've been selling a house. You know, maybe you've been tying up loose ends in an old job. Maybe you're about to graduate or something. I feel like there's a new beginning that you've been preparing for coming in off the back of an ending. I have run out of space. Okay, so you have the Knight of... Now, pile number 3, get ready. Because you've been preparing, and I feel like maybe it's been taking a long time. Okay? Because you had to put in the work, but it's about to move quickly. Okay? It's about to move quickly. Like the preparations have been made. Now is the time. It's happening now. Time to move quickly, sudden changes. You have the Four of Swords here, so you have been in some kind of resting period. Now, the Four of Swords obviously follows the Three of Swords, which is like heartbreak. So some of you may have had your heart broken or a relationship ended, and you've been recovering from that. Others of you, you know, you may have just physically needed a rest before this new beginning came in. So there's been a period of preparation and resting. I honestly feel like for some of you, Spirit has made you stay in one place. Like maybe you're used to moving around a lot. Maybe that's only for one person, but like you've been used to moving around a lot, and now it's like, no, this is where you belong now. It's time to settle down. You have Judgment, new beginnings. So there's a new beginning coming in here, starting a new life, finding your purpose. So for a lot of you, this is, it's finding where you belong. Literally what I just said, like it's about finding where you belong, whether that's a person or a particular town that you've settled in, that, you know, maybe you've moved around a lot and you're like, you know what, I really like it here, I'm gonna stay here. Or it's a job. It's like you finally realize what you want to do. You have the Six of Swords here. So it's like coming out of a storm. It's the light at the end of the tunnel. Breathe a sigh of relief and make new plans. See, again, it's all been about making plans. And now it's kind of time. And you're moving into like harmony. It also says relocation or travel. So I feel there's something about not necessarily moving. I mean, for some of you it could be that, but I feel like for some of you it's like I'm settling, finish the sentence, Di. Settling down. It's like you've decided where you want to stay. Like maybe you've spent a lot of your life moving around and now you're like, no, I want to be here. Because there may have been a lot of chaos in your life before, but now you've kind of taken charge and you're like, no. And you also have the Nine of Wands here. Stay determined and move forward. Be prepared for any possibility. Okay, so there's a message here. What you have been preparing for is about to come in, and it may catch you a little off guard. Alright? So just be prepared, because what you want is happening. And I know, you know, when you're in this preparation mode, it's like, oh my god, nothing's ever gonna happen. I'm gonna, you know, literally nothing's ever happening for me. But it is. I like to use this analogy, you know, like, think about it like you're in a theater, right? Or you're in a cinema or something. Obviously they don't have curtains in the cinema anymore. Think about it like a theater, right? And the curtain's down and you're sitting in the audience and you're like, damn, I bought my ticket and nothing's happening. I'm just sitting here looking at this curtain. And it feels like nothing's happening and you're bored, but actually behind the curtain, you know, like all the actors are getting their makeup on and they're like, I don't know what they do back there, dealing with the lights and, you know, running lines, and everything's being prepared, right? Excuse me. Others of you, right, you have surrender comparisons with other people at the bottom of the deck. I feel like a lot of you that pick this pile, you may be like late starters, right? You know, you may have chosen to settle down later than other people. Some of you may have Gemini in your chart, or yeah, like it's, I don't know, maybe it's a Gemini energy or something. Like you've sort of moved around a lot in your life. And because Geminis often settle down later, you know, or a fire sign, right? Type it. Obviously, you're not everybody listening is going to be a Gemini, but it's like that type of energy. That's why I understand where you're coming from, because it's Gemini energy. But you know, you may be like choosing to settle down later, or it's just happened like that because, like, before you got here, you may have chosen, like, no, I want to experience like lots of different things. I want to do lots of different jobs. I want to live in lots of different places. I want to travel. And, you know, now that you're a bit older or whatever, you may be like, oh my god, like everybody's like married with children, or like they've bought a house, you know, and I'm just over here like doing my crazy things, you know. But, you know, you can't compare yourself to other people because they're on a different journey, right? And just because you did it later, it's not wrong. It was, you know, a lot. For example, like if you choose to get married later on, like a lot, you know, a lot of those marriages are the ones that last, right? Although it would be lovely if all of them lasted, right? So yeah, don't compare yourself to other people because you've done your thing later than them. It doesn't matter. Like, you were meant to. You know what I mean? Like, that was what you guys chose before you got here. Okay, you have surrender obsessive thinking. If you're obsessing about a person or situation, turn the dilemma over to spirit. Doing so will help you bring clarity or even solve the problem. So this may be a situation that you've kind of obsessed about a little bit, particularly maybe if it's like about finding love. Or whatever the situation is. You know, they're saying just bring it, just turn it over to spirit, because once you've done everything that you can't do anymore, right? Because I feel like there's been a lot of planning. You know, you've put a lot of work into this. You will get what you want. It's just kind of timing. You know, the more that you can just sort of relax and let it happen, the better off you'll be. Because there's no point in stress. Oh my god. There's no point in stressing yourself out when it's not the right time, okay? Surrender to divine timing. And I know you don't want to hear that, okay? But this has also come out on top of the Four of Swords, which is about rest, healing, okay? So you needed a period of like either healing your soul or physically resting your body, or both. Sometimes divine timing, I'm reading from the card, okay? Sometimes divine timing may differ from your ego's timing. If a goal isn't manifesting fast enough according to your ego, be patient and trust the universal flow. See, yeah, I feel like for a lot of you, maybe this is about love, and you're like, oh my god, like I'm getting older and I'm still single, and you know, I haven't bought a house yet or whatever. It wasn't the time. You know, everybody's on a different path. So, and I know you don't want to surrender to divine timing, but you can't control it, right? It is what it is. It'll happen when it happens. Surrender outdated beliefs about yourself. Now, the Judgment card here also talks about a forgiving and compassionate review of the past. So I think this pile has a tendency to blame. I think you blame yourself for not being normal, right? For doing things later, or for, you know, maybe being a bit crazy compared to other people, right? Because I don't know, maybe all your friends got married when they were like, I don't know, 25, and they had kids and they bought a house and they stayed in the same job, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, then you meet up with them and they're like, so what are you doing? And you're like, well, you know, I quit my job and I'm renting a new flat and I'm no, still haven't met that special person, you know. And maybe you just, you know, maybe you're starting to judge yourself for like things that you did in your past. So you're like, oh my God, I wish I'd settled down earlier, or I wish I had been less crazy with my money or something. You gotta let that go, because you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Okay? Let go of limiting ideas about yourself that originate from the past. Then you can own your power and soar in your life, because I also feel you've been very judgmental about yourself. Like, I don't know, say for example you got bullied in school. You may still cling to that idea of yourself as like shy, you know, or like, I don't know, something random like, oh, I'm so gangly. I feel like this is you letting that go. You know what I mean? Let's get one more from this pile. In fact, I'm going to go into a different pile. Yeah, I want to say this one too, actually, pile number 3. You have surrender to the wisdom of your body, and you also have surrender to non-action underneath that. Because I feel like maybe this is a jittery pile, like, you know, you always want to be on the move. Surrender to the wisdom of your body. I feel like you're kind of learning, you know, maybe before it's like your body needed sleep and you just kind of ignored it, or you knew your body needed a rest and you just kind of ignored it. But I feel like you're learning how to listen to what your body wants, and not just being like, shut up body, you're getting in my way, there's no time for you, I have to do this, 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 and this. And you also have surrender to non-action. So so you've obviously been in a period of non-action. And also this card says, now is the time to be still and not act. Simply breathe and focus on your own power. Let others come to you. For some of you, like if this is about love for you, and I feel like for a lot of you it is, you've been doing all these preparations while you wait for your person to come in, and they're about to come in, okay? All you got to do is wait. Because you've been doing all the preparations in the background, and now it's time, but you don't have to do anything. You just have to relax, rest your body, and let it happen. For others of you, where it's not about love, I still feel the same message applies. Like you've already done the work, you've done it, and the action is coming. It's time, but I feel strongly that you don't have to do anything. Like it's just going to come to you. Anything from this deck for pile number 3? Sorry, pile number 3, my camera cut out. You have Spirit, Halls of Learning, Confirmation, Great Lessons, and you have Holy Grail. Oh my God, that looks like an Ace of Cups. Finding Sacredness, You Are What You Seek. I'm going to reshuffle that one. So you have the Halls of Learning, Spirit Guides, Confirmation, Great Lessons. So this, yeah, you've definitely been learning things about yourself. And I actually, you know what, I want to take this one. They're saying take it. Because you've been in a period of self-discovery, right? You have the solar plexus card here, and you have the Holy Grail here. I just want to say it before I forget, and then I'll show you the cards. But you've been in a period of learning. A lot of you may have been working on your solar plexus chakra, because a lot of you may have had that blocked. And when it's blocked, it makes it very difficult for you to have motivation to live your life properly, right? And what I mean by that is like having the motivation to, for example, get up on time, do your exercises, do things that are good for you, right? Like get yourself into a schedule instead of like, I don't know, you know, wanting to exercise but finding that you never have the motivation to do it, or wanting to get yourself into a schedule and get your, you know, your work done and your chores done, but finding that you don't care enough about it, or you end up just sitting around and being like, oh god, now I feel so guilty. When you have, I feel like a lot of you have been working on your solar plexus, or you've been doing it without knowing, because there's been like it's like you're doing things that are finally good for you, like you're like making plans, planning for what you want, like you know, for example, like I'm not saying that it's bad to like move around or whatever, but like if it's, I feel like maybe that's not what you want to do anymore, right? It's like you're feeling a lot more focused, you're feeling a lot more centered, like you know what you want to do. Like maybe this is about, like, you know, you spent a lot of time changing jobs or whatever, and now you're like, no, I know what I want to do, I'm taking action towards it, and if that means that I have to do extra studying in the evening and plan my life out better so that I can fit that into my schedule, then that's what I'm going to do. You know, it's like having willpower, it's that inner fire. Because when the solar plexus is blocked, everything can feel kind of murky, and you're not really listening to your intuition, like what your gut is telling you. And you may find you're easily swayed by other people. And you have, so I feel like there's been a period here where you've been preparing and learning lessons. Also, you may have been more in touch with your spirit guides recently, and you've been learning big lessons about yourself. And, you know, I have to say, if you've watched it, there may be someone that's watched all 3 piles, but I feel like for a lot of you, because it came up in the other 2 piles as well, but I feel like you have a new love coming in here. For those of you that are looking for love, I feel like there's a new love coming in. For those of you not interested in love, this is about finding like your inner fire, like what you want to do, where you belong, what makes you tick. And whether that's a specific place or a new love coming in or like a job, that's what it is. There's also been, it's about, see when the solar plexus is activated, it's like you're not looking for validation from without anymore. The focus goes back on to you. It's like finding that inner love, right? Because, you know, when the solar plexus is blocked, it's like you're constantly looking, and also the sacral chakra, but, you know, a lot of the solar plexus, like you're constantly looking for that thing outside of you that's going to make you feel better. But when it's open and when it's balanced, you find that that's you. Right, so it, for example, like it stops you kind of thinking that someone else is going to fix you, right? But I do feel that looks like a big Ace of Cups to me. I feel like a lot of you are going to find new love, or it's someone that you've been waiting for to come in is coming in, but there may have had to be some kind of ending before that, right? Like before they could come in. Look at that. On the split, you have the Page of Swords and the Lovers. See, the Page of Swords is like a delay. It's like delayed news coming in. And I feel like for a lot of you, it's a soulmate, right? You have a soulmate coming in, and I feel like there's been a delay because I feel like you needed to rest. And I feel like you needed to learn these things about yourself. You've been learning about yourself. But listen, get ready, because with the Knight of Swords, it's something's going to happen fast, okay? If this is about like a house or a job, basically this manifestation that you've been wanting is going to happen a little out of the blue and very fast. Like if it's a person that you've been waiting for, they may suddenly decide to message you. You know what I mean? Or you may meet someone new very suddenly. And you have the Lovers, which is, it's a soulmate card. It's definitely new love coming in for some of you. What else for pile number 3? Some of you could definitely be Gemini. You have the Lovers here. Yeah. Just the, oh my god. These cards came out for pile number 2, and you know what? I'm not going to take these two because they were very close together, like in pile number 2. It needed a better shuffle, I guess, but you have the Ace of Cups here. And we're taking that because it was on the top, okay? So clarifying this big freaking cup that looks like the Ace of Cups, you have the Ace of Cups, alright? So for those of you in this pile, you have a new love coming in, okay? Obviously for those of you that are not looking for love, this is like self-love, or finding that job or that house that you love, that place that you love. And I have to say, I feel like those of you in this pile, you spent a lot of your life looking for that thing that's going to make you happy, and it was you. You were the thing that was going to make you happy. So maybe you've traveled around a lot looking for the thing that makes you happy. Maybe you've been in a lot of relationships, a lot of jobs, but it was you. It was you that you were looking for. That's for everyone watching this. But I have to say, there is a new love coming in as well for those of you that are interested in that. And you have the Two of Cups here and the Four of Wands. We're not keeping them because I feel like maybe they needed a better shuffle, and they did come out for pile number 2. But you know, this is the Two of Cups is soulmate, best friend energy. The Four of Wands is a celebration coming in, being very happy. So for those of you, even though like you're not looking for love, it's something very stable. I really feel strongly that you're stabilizing. Like, it could be a house. You know what I mean? Like, you found where you want to live for some of you. Yeah, you have the Moon here. And it's come out over divine timing. So, you may... I think you've been kind of... It's like, I don't know what's going to happen. You know, you've just been doing the work and kind of hoping for the best, and you're not entirely sure where it's been going. But you're going to see soon. Also, this has been time for you to grow. Like, you were always the big panther, right? You see how you got the little kitty cat? But actually, when she looks in the water, she's a big panther, right? You've always been the big panther. But I think sometimes you've kind of tended to see yourself as a little kitty cat and not seen your true power. But this time that you've been in like this learning period has been for you to step into your true power and see how powerful you really are. Because with the Five of Pentacles, you may have been very out in the cold, and it may be because of a fire sign in your past. Let's get another one for pile number 3. That's a lot. Anything else for pile number 3? The new person could be a Pisces or an Aquarius. What else for pile number 3? Okay, you have the Seven of Pentacles. So this has taken a while, like, for you to get to this place, okay? Because I feel like you've kind of been in almost like no man's land. You know, like you've closed in an old cycle where you kind of had limiting beliefs about yourself. But you've been, I think you've been kind of resting and like preparing. Basically, the Seven of Pentacles is a card of preparation and waiting. Let's get one more for pile number 3. Okay. You have the Chariot. some of you maybe have had to make a choice. Like some of you may have moved on from an old love or an old job or something that wasn't good for you, because I feel like with this surrender to the wisdom of your body card, it says listen to your body's messages about a person or situation. If you feel physically drained or uncomfortable, be cautious. If you are happy and energized, move forward. See, I feel like there's been a choice, like the Chariot is a choice. And I feel like you're choosing between a situation that has kind of drained you and one that makes you happy and energized. Whatever that means for you, okay? So pile number 3, that was your reading. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there. I feel like there's another couple to come out, because like on the other side. Okay, what else for pile number 3? I'm just going to pull 2 more. Give me one for here, please. Give me one for this side. Might be the end of your reading, pile number 3. Yes, I think that is the end of your reading, because you have judgment here as well. So I feel like there has been a choice that you've made. And like I said, it could be between 2 people or a job or a house or a place to live or something. But obviously you've made the right choice here, okay? Or you're going to make the right choice. So I hope that was a useful reading. Pile number 3, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for me. If you feel like doing that, I would appreciate it so much. And as always, many blessings, love and light.